Actually, we're diving straight in here. So we got Druidz.WonnaPlay, spawning as the red Protoss on the bottom right, and in the top left as our blue Protoss is UCAP.JayPower, good friend of mine. I know him very well. Hi JP, if you're watching. Big hearts to him. I'm sorry, I have bias. I have bias in this game, but I always do actually, usually if I know the person, I berate them more than if I don't. So, it's gonna be fine.
Well, to be honest, like, I do that the same. Actually, it's not only the same, it's the first pro player I ever met and spoke to. I slightly fanboy. And that's, you can't help it. Like, even though they're not the most amazing player ever, you just like, they're the first pro you ever met. Like, I don't know about you, but the first time you actually see a pro player sit behind, and you just look over their shoulder, and they're like tapping away on the keyboard. And before that point, you can see as many like webcam views of it, and see how quickly they play. But until you actually just see their hands moving that quickly, and you just can't appreciate it. You can't take in just how much better they are at this game than I am.
No, I think the closest thing that comes to that was the old Lysira video from MLG, where it has Lysira warming up his hands, and it's just, he's like tapping away, and it's like, oh, okay, and then he just goes, it's like a spider is running along the keyboard. It was ridiculous.
But it's how like focused they are as well. I'm just like, how does this work? How do you move? I can't even spam the keyboard as quickly as they do it.
And every button press they have is just precise and exactly what they intend to do.
Yep, it's incredible. Anyway, a little bit about this game. Obviously, PvP. Both players are getting down a gas and a gateway. JayPower, though, he's just finishing up his second gas, so that means he's going to be going more tech-heavy. Possibility of a Stargate opening. Akelon Waste is a great map for that. And as a result, probably, maybe, well, it could be a quick mothership core, obviously for the defensive purposes. Could also be a Stargate, as I said. It's really what we see, 2 probes in each gas. The second gas now being taken for Wanna as well. And this 2 gas play it's really solid, it's really popular, because even though it's slightly easier to expand in Heart of the Swarm thanks to the mothership core, it's not, again, it's PvP. One base is really where it's at most of the time.
Yeah, one base is king, as always in PvP. Because if you expand, that means there's 400 minerals that you have not put into tech or units. So the other player usually just walks up and just kills you. So knowing when you can get away with taking that fast expand is going to be crucial, but both players just looking to tech up right now.
Now, this is really actually interesting out of JayPower. He's getting a sentry out really quick. So this is usually an indicator that you're not going to be going for something too aggressive, because you wouldn't want to throw that down. Or alternatively, it could be that you're wanting to tech up quite heavily behind and you want a nice defensive position. Meanwhile, though, we see that out of Wanna, he's getting down a second gateway and a Stalker up. So that, along with the fact that he's getting a mothership core, means that he's probably going to be the one putting on the pain, whereas JayPower, as we can see, just wanting to turtle up and try and get his expansion down.
Yeah, WonnaPlay going for that 3-stalker opening, which is really good. You can go and poke, especially with that mother core support now to give you high ground vision. And the fast expand from JayPower is a pretty big risk, I'm not going to lie. So we're going to see whether or not this pays off for him, because if he gets that expansion up and running for a considerable amount of time, he can hold it and get the full benefits of having that expansion.
Well, we'll wait to see, but for the moment we've just got the robotics facility and also the gateway coming down for both players. So, to be honest, Wanna is really in a bit of a one base all-in situation here. 3 gates plus robotics facility. You can't afford to easily expand off of that anytime soon. So that means that it's all coming down to whether JayPower can hold. If he isn't forced to cancel this Nexus and he doesn't lose it, he's going to be in an amazing spot moving forward. WonnaPlay is going to be able to put on so much pressure.
Yeah, he is, and he might even be able to go and get a cancel on that Nexus. Mothership Core has got enough for Time Warp, but he's not going to want that. He's going to wait for the Photon Overcharge, but until then, this Nexus is going to get chipped away at by these Stalkers. Aggressive pylon for the warp-in that's going to come from WonnaPlay. And a model coming out from JayPower, we're going to see if he can hold it.
Well, obviously, that Photon Overcharge, absolutely critical. He's going to need to trigger that as soon as he has 100 energy on that Mothership Core in order to keep this Nexus alive. But there he goes, takes out the probe first. That's always a smart move. The Mothership Core also getting focused because, as we mentioned earlier, if you knock out the high ground vision, it's good. Some nice force fields there, do trap a Stalker, and any unit you get early on is really nice. Azella will go down, but that Immortal is what's going to make the big difference.
It is. He's bought himself enough time to get that Immortal out, and I mean, there's a lot of Stalkers here, but with the right control, that Immortal can do so much damage. And with that Photon Overcharge still on the Nexus, he's looking to take out that Proxy Pylon.
And as long as he takes that out, then obviously reinforcements will take a little bit longer. The Photon Overcharge probably getting close to running out though, so ultimately Wanna doing the right thing and just sitting back and not engaging until that's out. But then it's buying more time. JayPower's second Immortal already half done. There's the Photon Overcharge finishing, and now it's just a case of playing it really careful because you don't want to overcommit and get yourself trapped, especially with that Immortal there. Time Warp being used, a couple of shots hitting the Immortal, but it doesn't take any hull damage. So this is still looking like a relatively good position for JayPower, but he's got to keep that Nexus up.
Yeah, he does have to keep that Nexus up, otherwise all of this will be in vain. Immortal going to be focused down now, but has it done enough damage? Mothership Core going down as well, and Stalker advantage for JayPower. Expansion is still up, and it looks like he's going to be able to beat this back.
Now, not only has he managed to beat it back, but he's also an Immortal up on his opponent already, which is really good news for him. He's got that expansion. Worker count-wise, it's 27 to 25 in JayPower's favour, and he's going to be producing 2 probes at a time, as we said. That's a massive advantage. And now, without doubt, WonnaPlay is behind.
Yeah, he is. He's behind in, well, economy, he's behind in tech units like these Immortals, and JayPower's completely in the driving seat here. WonnaPlay's going to have to push in soon and try to end this game.
But the big problem WonnaPlay's actually got is that he no longer has his Mothership Core. That means no vision of the high ground, other than, and the Observer has also been taken out there as well. So with no vision on that high ground, he's going to really struggle to try and push up that ramp, especially when he's got no Immortals with his army. So this is now just sitting us in a position where actually JayPower can be quite comfortable, even braving it and moving down, knowing that he can retreat if needed, trying to sneak a single probe through, and I'd ultimately say that honestly, JayPower, he's doing the right thing. Just sit back and wait it out, because all WonnaPlay's got behind this is an additional gateway.
Yeah, and he could just sit here. He's warped in a few sentries for force fields just to be 100% safe at the top of that ramp, and he can sit and macro up now. There's nothing to stop him from taking this game.
No, there's nothing to really stop him, but of course the longer this goes on, the more dangerous it gets. Wanna is completely cut pro production, obviously not having his natural. Does have enough money to throw down the Nexus though, but instead using it to just warp in more and more Zealots. He's gearing up for a massive push, and that is what's coming in here right now. Moving up the ramp, are the force fields going to go down? There they are, that's straight away blocking out most of the army, but a small gap allowing it to creep through. Photon Overcharge getting triggered. The Immortal still up and running though for JayPower. That's the important thing. It's getting focus, and Wanna is actually making quite a good job of this.
He is. Photon Overcharge has helped out, but JayPower's missed his force fields. The Zealots were allowed to get in close to the Stalkers, and with the probe pull here, the Immortal of WonnaPlay is still up.
Yeah, it's doing a huge amount of damage. It's therefore able to start picking down these Stalkers really effectively. The Mothership Core for JayPower does fall, but with just that next warp-in wave and a good force field there, a lot of units getting trapped for Wanna, and as we can see now, it looks like JayPower has managed to hold it off. He lost quite a few probes, so 16 workers did go down, and that means JayPower is down by just 2 probes, but he still has his natural up.
Yeah, he does. He has that natural, he has the production up. He just needs to warp in the right units to fight these Stalkers, and 2 sentries aren't going to help how much here. 1 getting sniped immediately.
And you don't want to lose those sentries, and that's, again, another one just fighting on its own, and you need to keep those sentries up.
Yeah, he does, but with this Immortal popping out, he looks like he's going to be in good control here.
Yeah, ultimately those Stalkers will get taken out exceptionally fast. The Zealots coming in aren't going to be too much of a threat, and here we go, JayPower moving down.
JayPower moving down, Zealots running in to try and get the Stalkers and Immortals, but that Immortal just does so much damage. Even with its shields down, it keeps tearing through all the Stalkers, and JayPower microing back to keep it alive. Good job there, and WonnaPlay's going to have to tap out soon.
He's in, well, he hasn't taken his expansion. He does, JayPower also has a probe at his natural, knowing that it isn't down, so really he's got all of the information that he requires, and this can go on for a while longer, but clearly JayPower is just going to get so much more, losing quite a few Stalkers there as well. That's not what he's going to want.
Yeah, those were really good force fields, just funneling them into the path of the Zealots, and WonnaPlay's been on the clock for pretty much the majority of this game, and he's still persisting, and he's not doing too bad. The supply difference is starting to creep up in JayPower's favour there.
Yeah, it's slowly creeping up, but JayPower, the one thing he needs to do is keep up the pro production. He's behind by 2, and he's cut pro production completely just to force out an awful lot of units, but that means that he's not getting much of an advantage from his natural.
No, the only thing he's gaining is a forward position to put his Nexus cannon. That's literally it at the moment. He needs to get a transfer over there and start mining, but is he going to risk those probes?
Well, he doesn't. I don't think he even needs to risk those probes. He just needs to make more probes, which he can easily afford to do. I think he's just feeling a bit threatened because he knows that the natural is not down. And if he knows his opponent's natural isn't down, then ultimately his opponent is just going to keep putting on the pain. But if he keeps engaging cost effectively, as he is at the moment, it just means that ultimately he knows that in the long term, he's got an additional base already taken, so will get ahead economically at some point.
Yeah, and JayPower's done a really good job of sniping off these observers all the time, stopping WonnaPlay from being able to really push up that ramp successfully.
Well, he's not going to be able to. He's got so few units. He doesn't have a mothership core for the high ground vision. He's not got a natural base, and this is really where we just need to see JayPower consistently produce probes, at least from his natural, in order just to get his economy in a nice spot. But Wanna, he's getting forced back. He's got a handful of units. The army supply is 29 to 24 in JayPower's favour. The big difference, though, is that he has got a lot more Stalkers and, obviously, a lot more Zealots.
Yeah, and WonnaPlay looks like he's gearing up for an expansion, but he's so far behind. Is it really going to be worth it? Actually, spending all of that money to get another Immortal out, saying it's not going to be worth it right now. I need to defend, I need to survive, and ooh, JayPower getting a little sloppy, losing a few Stalkers there for free.
But what he's gaining is the map dominance. He's suddenly taken a lot of control, meaning that he's safe to transfer some probes, go into double probe production, knowing that his opponent doesn't have a natural down. He's just taking the advantage he's got. He doesn't even have to engage quickly. He can just really contain his opponent with his soft contain of units, turtle up, because he's buying himself time.
Yep, and getting a good view of the high ground there, pushing up a little bit, and actually deciding to retreat. 2 Immortals versus the one of JayPower. He really needs to get that home.
Yeah, he needs to get that out. He's almost to the point where he'd be in a relatively good position to sacrifice some of those Zealots in order to save the Immortal, but not going to. And this now actually puts JayPower in a bit of a difficult spot. Wanna really coming back into this quite nicely. He's got those 2 Immortals. That's going to make such a big difference. And he's also got way more Stalkers. The only thing he's really losing on is the Zealot count, but that's not a big problem for him because he can kite those quite effectively. He needs his Mothership Core over with his army in order to be able to go on the high ground vision, but unfortunately he hasn't remade it. And that's the only thing that I'd like to see. But with the Observer, he can make 2.
Yeah, and here we go, big push up, much better force fields this time from JayPower, slicing off a few of the Zealots.
Now, the only difference we're really seeing is obviously in the probe count, 40 to 29. That's a big advantage for JayPower, and as long as he can hold off, he's going to be really far ahead.
Yeah, and here we go, this is the push that's going to decide it. 2 Immortals in there though, doing so much damage, and with the appropriate tank for those Immortals, he's not going to lose them, and probes are being pulled here. Is it going to be enough though?
Well, it looks like they're going to tank up quite a bit of damage, but the Stalker count a lot lower for JayPower compared to WonnaPlay. He's kiting, he's trying to take out as many of these probes as he can, and has actually now leveled out the probe count. The only difference being, though, is clearly the main base is mined out for Wanna. That's the big problem he's got to deal with. But can JayPower hold on? In terms of army supply, they're nearly exactly equal. This game is so close all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is really close, and JayPower's just using those probes to fight with now. He really needs to hold this.
He's got to hold it really well, and as we can see, those Stalkers, the Sentries, they are doing just nice damage picking off the Zealots, and Wanna doing an amazing job.
Yeah, he is, but he is out of force fields now. He's going to really lack the power to segment off these probes and Zealots, and here they go, pushing forward now. JayPower microing his Immortal back, Guardian Shield doing so much for JayPower here, and the Zealot and Protect looks to be enough. 1 Immortal goes down, the Stalker's constantly in retreat here.
And this is so back and forth. This game has been incredibly close, absolutely spectacular. But as we've got now, just another pullback. Probes have been pulled, and that puts JayPower behind in the worker count by 9. So quite a lot. The only thing really saving him is that he does have that natural base. He's been forced to transfer some probes, but he's going for it, knowing that he's got to end this game quickly. Great force fields will allow JayPower to snipe off that Immortal, and this is where things get really tough.
Yeah, with JayPower with that Immortal left over, good force fields allowing him to snipe that Immortal of WonnaPlay off. And is he going to be able to snipe this Immortal before it does too much damage? Trying a good micro by JayPower, and these Stalkers all go down, and with long distance mining from WonnaPlay, there's nothing left in him to give.
No, you can't. If we look at the income, even though the worker count is heavily in WannaPlay's favour, he's only mining 40 minerals a minute. And there we go. The GG comes down, and JayPower takes